Okay.
Marshall lost last week. Oh, no, won last week. Got their first win. They beat Henderson. The week before, they lost to Longview. And prior to that, their first loss of the season was to Tyler High School. So they think they're finding their way to find their lane to rack those W's up. We're going to hear right now from Coach Jack Alvarez.
From Marshall. Let's take a
From
look.
Marshall.
Oh, it's huge getting, you know, I always tell the kids the hardest win of the year is usually the first one of the year and then the first playoff game. You can get those two out of the way, usually everything else will roll pretty smooth.
When you think about trying to keep your guys together and stable, like guys were getting there, were getting closer, because you played some pretty good competition.
No, they were okay.
They were okay. So you had a chance to have a barometer. So what did you see in your team this past weekend to get that win that you thought, we need to do more of this?
Well, I thought our kids did a better job, like finding the edge as far as, you know, like run blocking wise. And I tell you, we've been pretty consistent throwing the ball around a little bit. So trying to get the run game to match our pass game, I thought was huge. And I thought we got a little closer this week.
Talk about your next opponent, that being Carthage. We all know about Carthage. How do you game plan for them?
Well, I mean, if you come out here and you can't be all tomfoolery. You better be sound in what you're doing. You better make sure all your guys are. That the blocking scheme's right. You better make sure that everyone's covered and all the gaps are covered on defense. They're just a solid football team. Coach Surratt and his staff do a great job, and his kids play hard. And then on top of that, they're talented. So when you put, that's a pretty good formula for success, and he's had a lot of it. So you know that again, we playing good talent early in our year. It's just going to help us down the road when we get to district.
I love it. Every team, you know, just has an outpouring of just outward and vocal respect for every other team.
Yeah, they do. And I even asked Coach Alvarez, I said, you know, I know when, you know, you coaches, you go to conferences, you have meetings, you know, statewide, and you get a chance to sit with each other, have lunch. What's the social atmosphere like? Because we know on the sidelines, your competitors, you say, oh man, we genuinely like each other out here in East Texas. We respect one another, and we even learn from one another, which is, I think, is great. And he says, so no, it's a room full of respect for all of us local coaches here. We've had experience. Some coaches were on each other's staff, and then branched off to do their own thing someplace else as a coach, and they'll meet them later on down the road. So they have a very healthy coaching environment here, and I just think it's a pleasure for me to get a chance to know these coaches as competitors and see what they're about. And you can see that they have that drive, not just to coach football, but to teach young men. That's the thing. They're in position to guide these young men onto, you know, you have an adversity, suck it up.
How to get past that, how to
get
deal
past
with it.
that, get over that, and they're very encouraging with that. And so, you know, and you know, it's a new way. You have to talk to kids a different way today. You know, I mean, it's a case where there is no swearing.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that anymore. You know, you weren't supposed to do it back then, but you got away with it. You got away with it.
Right.
You know, I mean, I came from an era where water breaks were minimal, if there were at all. So it's a whole different ballgame today. But it's not just at the high school level. Same thing with coaching.
Right.
And the same thing in the NFL. You have to be able to relate to your players.
Yep.
And that's those who win, those who get the most out of their players, it's because they're able to relate